Okay, so I think we're about ready to get going here. So, of course, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create the entire interface. I guess you could say the mock-up. It's not really a mock-up. It's gonna wind up being our entire interface that we build from complete scratch here in Illustrator, and then of course the whole idea is to get it from Illustrator over into Flash. So, if you're following me along here, go ahead and fire up Illustrator. And you can either use the welcome screen here and create a new document there, that's fine. Or of course you can just go File New or Command N or Control N, depending on if you're on the Mac or the PC side. Usually I just use the New Document dialog box. You can throw in a name there if you want. You can call it, Snazzy Flash Layout or whatever you want, right? Number of artboards, we just need one artboard, I think. We might need to add on more, don't know yet. The size... Well, first of all, I'm going to change my units from points to pixels because everything I shouldn't say everything in web design, but a good portion of web design is based on pixels, right? Of course, if we're going to use some CSS, we can use different units of measurement, we could use percentages and so on, but for our overall layout, we want to use a fixed pixel width, right? So switch your unit of measurement there to pixels, and then here's the width and height that I'm going to use. I'm not even paying attention to the size or, whether it's a print or a web layout, any of that junk. I don't really care about that stuff. The width and height that I'm going to use, check this out. I'm going to use 960 pixels by a whopping 475 pixels, just like that. Now, why am I using these settings? Well, I want my Flash layout to be not full screen, but I want it to fill the browser window as much as possible, right? But I don't want horizontal or vertical scrolling. Now, it's impossible to make sure that we don't get any vertical scrolling, but we can make sure that we don't get any horizontal scrolling by using a width of 960. Now, a width of 960 will fit inside a monitor that's running 1024, 1024 by 768, right? So 960 will fit inside the 1024. We wouldn't want to go 1024 all the way because then we would get some scrolling. There's actually some margin built into the web browser window, so we got to pull it back to 960. Now, I don't want any vertical scrolling either, and that's the toughie because, people add on those goofy, their Google search bars and all that kind of junk, antivirus toolbars and all that stuff. So it's impossible to know how many toolbars they're going to have activated inside their web browser. And the more toolbars they have, the further down the screen the actual browser window or the actual web page would appear, right? Reducing that amount of vertical space. But 475, I think, is kind of considered sort of a standard at least, right? Okay, and, if people have a billion toolbars turned on, well, there's not a whole lot we can do with that anyway, right? So 960 by 475, that's what I'm going to go with here. Let's see here. My color mode is set to CMYK. That's no good. I could pop into advanced and change it there. That's fine. Or I could go through the file menu. I'll do it here. Raster effects, high is fine. Preview mode default, that's fine as well. So I'm just using RGB, right? We're not creating a print document, a CMYK document. We're creating something that's going to be viewed on screen, RGB, right? Okay, awesome stuff. Now, I just want to double check something before we really get tearing away here. So obviously, there's my artboard, right? And this is going to be the designable area, I guess you could say, right? So anything that falls outside of the artboard, right, would not be a part of our Flash interface, right? Now, as I say, there's one thing that I want to check here, just real quick here with you. I'm going to go to the Illustrator menu here up at the top on the Mac. If you're on the PC side, head to your Edit menu. And then we're going to pop into our Preferences real quick here. So look for Preferences and then Units. And I just want to double check that we are indeed on pixels. Sometimes that doesn't come across properly. So again, I want to use pixels for my general unit of measurement here. And I am set to pixels, which is great. So I'll just click on OK. All right, awesome stuff. Now, that's pretty much it in terms of getting your document set up. Now, of course, the next thing that we want to do is we want to start getting some stuff added into our layout, right? We actually have some raster graphics we're going to throw in there, some pixel-based graphics. We're going to get our layout cooking here in just a few seconds. So let's keep on going here with our snazzy Flash layout.